Hey everyone, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have another episode of Thrift or Pass, where we find out what exactly I thrifted and what I left back on the shelf. In today's video, we're going to look at episode 2. If you haven't seen that vlog, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description, as well as put a little link to it here so you can watch that beforehand. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the fox earrings that I have in the beginning, I essentially passed on. When I looked at them further, I liked the color on them, but I didn't really like the expression. It was kind of blah and kind of not really a friendly looking fox or something that is particularly appealing. I wear a bunch of different types of crazy earrings, so like wearing foxes on my ears isn't particularly out of the norm for me, but these ones just weren't very appealing overall, so I did end up putting those back on the earring rack. So the like ceramic pot jug thing, I did end up putting that back on the shelf. That's not really typically my wheelhouse, so I'm not particularly sure how expensive or what that one particularly would be worth. I know similar jugs that I've seen on like Antiques Roadshow or something along those lines can be worth a lot of money, but that's generally like the big jugs that are like did not mean to say it like that. But yeah, essentially they're a lot bigger and they are from like hundreds of years ago. So I know those can sell for a good amount of money. But that one, it wasn't really my style and I put it back on the shelf. So the Buzz Lightyear McDonald's glass I also passed on as well. I grew up with Toy Story as a kid, and the Toy Story series is, you know, definitely very cute. I still haven't seen the fourth one yet, though, to be honest. But yeah, it's not particularly my thing. There isn't a lot of age to it, so I don't really think it's worth that much money right now. Maybe like 20 or 30 or some other time from now it might be. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it from a reselling perspective either, unless you have hit that like McDonald's or like Toy Story market particularly. So I looked on the bottom shelf and it caught my eye particularly because it was floral, and I'm particularly a big floral person, so I did end up thrifting this floral stein. And what was cool about this floral stein is that not only did it have these like beautiful flowers on it, it was in really great condition. It also had the certificate of authenticity with it. I got to know a little more information about this particular piece. So as you can see, it is right here. And it's just really pretty. Again, I'm not a stein person, like I said in the video, but it has flowers all over it. It's really cute. And I have the certificate inside right here. The other side is German. So I'm not fluent in German, so we're going to bring the English side. This hand-painted Enzian stein shows the Enzian flower, one of the most famous flowers, in detailed deep relief. On both sides of the stein, Enzian is framed by a bouquet of other alpine flowers. The pewter lid has a ceramic inlay matching the front motif of the stein. The decorations on the stein is done in the art of the country-style painting and decorating in Bavaria. The Enzian stein is limited edition of 10,000 pieces. Gers guarantees this limitation. So this particular piece is number 531 out of 10,000. I don't really know what's considered low in terms of a number in a limited edition series. I think out of 10,000, that's not like 531 is not the highest number. Generally speaking, if you have limited edition pieces in terms of like monetary value, you want to have something that's a little bit higher, like edition, like example, if there's 10 editions, you would want edition 1. So you would want something that's like the first thing, I guess, is generally the more valuable one, when all else equals. I'm not really looking this as particularly like a reselling perspective. It's really just for decoration. I'll list some sold comps in the video right now, but I think I remember it ranging from like $30 to $50. So steins can go for a lot of money too. So I don't think it's particularly like hugely valuable in terms of steins, but you know, it's pretty and I like it. It's on my shelf, so that's cool. So the white kitty I found in the bag, I ended up passing on that. I think with everything else that was in the bag, it wasn't particularly worth it to me to get this specific baggie. It was like a generic cat. It wasn't particularly anything special about it. So I ended up putting that back. I was going to get the plastic planters. I really, really was, but I did end up passing on those as well. That was a pretty good deal, honestly, the $2 for the planters, and maybe I should have just gotten them and bitten the bullet. but I know they needed the bottoms, and then I also am not sure what type of plants I'm going to have and what I'm not. I don't have any that really need to be transplanted right now, so, and I do have limited storage, so I gotta pass sometimes on things that even I do like. So I can't tell you how sad I was when I found that big Asian vase just shattered on that shelf. That was so sad, and I'm wondering what happened with that. I don't know if it arrived like that because there was tape on it to begin with, but I obviously passed on that because I really have no use for a big broken vase. But I've seen similar style vases, and again, this really isn't my area of expertise, but I've seen similarly styled vases, and again, they could probably go for a decent amount of money, but obviously something that was that broken is not going to sell very well. I feel like they still put it on the floor. That Unique usually doesn't put like super broken things on the floor. Maybe it'll have a chip here or there, but it's not anything like crazy damaged or anything. It was interesting that they put that on there, but maybe they thought somebody could use, it's still a quality piece and they could use it for other crafts or something like that. I don't know. So we ended up going to the bag section, and in the toy section specifically, there were a bunch of bags of squishies, and I did end up getting some of the squishies that were featured in that video. I didn't get all of them. There was a few dessert ones that I passed on, but there was a bag, and I have the contents here where I got squishies that are in there. So we have the little penguin right here, and I just thought she was super cute. She is pretty squishy. You can kind of tell right there. Also have this little bundt cake, and it's obviously seen better days. It has some little rips and things like that. There's also this little elephant right here. Not entirely sure yet what I'm going to do with him. We also have a Reese's mascot squishy, which is interesting. I haven't seen one of these before. And then also this football squishy, though it's like it's pretty hard. I think it's more like a stress ball. But yeah, with the ones that I featured here, I do plan on doing a project with them, so I'm not particularly concerned that they're kind of ripped up or anything like that. So definitely stay tuned for that because there's going to be content on that as well. So I was hemming and hawing on this because I feel like I'd seen this item multiple times at the thrift store, and I was like, that would be kind of cute to have as a decoration or maybe repaint it or something like that. It was this gumball machine, and it was metal. You know, it was a decent quality machine, but I did end up passing on that. I eventually found out that it was broken, and that's why it's always good, even when you're shopping in general, but particularly at the thrift store where you have a lot of used things, to check and recheck over things, because oftentimes you'll find things are damaged, or especially with clothes, you can find like rips and tears and maybe some stains that are particularly hard to get out. So yeah, I'm glad I took a once over on that because it wasn't really worth it to me to buy it if it was broken. So the old frame, you can come in here. You can come in here. I know you know how to work the kitty door. Oh, Lord have mercy. Can I help you? Can I help you? What's going on? You want to say hi? My name's Emerson. You're not giving me enough attention, Mom. Oh, my battery's running low. We'll change that. So after my cat meowing and trying to refocus my camera for a good 5-10 minutes, I am back. Frame picture, which honestly I'm kind of blinking on, so it wasn't that rememberable, so I did pass on it. Ultimately, it wasn't really my style, so I put that back on the shelf. I was really tempted to get the Looney Bin sign. I really, really was. It was super cute. Like, it's not usually my style. I don't usually go for the dark, like, in terms of color, like something dark like that. I thought I might have had a place for it, but ultimately I did put it back because it was just this close of making it home, this close, but it's just like the figure of it and everything was just kind of dark, and I just ultimately decided to pass on it. It was very close though. Now on to the second thrift store. We went to Village Discount. One of the things I found there first was a piece of artwork. It was a Frank Lloyd Wright replica reproduction of one of his stained glass window designs. It was pretty, but it wasn't enough to like have me sold on it, so I did end up passing on it. This was also painful to pass on because it was an original artwork, but the other painting that I saw there, the big giant landscape one, I did pass on that as well. Unfortunately, it was just too big. I don't really have the wall space for it. I wouldn't even really know where to put it, to be honest. So I did end up passing on that. The Made in Japan bone teacup I did pass on, but I will mention right here, one of the things that I did like to resell a lot back when I was a reseller was teacups. I thought that they were very easy to package, and I would get a good profit on them. Generally, if I found them for $1 to $2, depending on the quality and the brand and things like that, I could get a good $10 to $15 on it. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. It's not like the stories online where you see people find paintings at the thrift store, as Emerson would like to tell you. It's not like the paintings that you see at the thrift store where people find them and they get like $300,000 for it. It's just simply a teacup, but you know what? It's something small, and definitely if you're someone like me who didn't really have a lot of room, reselling those could definitely come in handy if you know what you're looking for. Come on, little guy. We're sitting with Mom right now. We'll see how long this lasts. So there was a log cabin birdhouse as well, and I was tempted on this because I do like log cabin, like I like that look and everything like that. I would love to like just go into cabin one day, but I did end up passing on this birdhouse. Like I said, I did think it was pretty, but it did have I did have previous experience with another birdhouse, and ultimately, although I had one that was actually a lot prettier than that one, I mistakenly left it outside. And birdhouses, unless there's, you can get other critters and stuff living in there, it's not really ideal. So I just have a fear of like something living in there and then coming out. So like a little bug or something. So I did end up passing on that as well. So the one thing I did end up thrifting, which I don't have because we use the candle, is the Yankee candle that I found there. For $7, I thought that was a pretty good deal. You ended up getting like this like nice smelling candle, and the Yankee candles last for a good amount of time. So I think at $7, it was a great deal, and we ended up getting that. I did pass on the Precious Moments. There were some really like nice ones there. I already have a precious moment that I have something planned to paint, and I'm really excited about it because right now there's currently a trend of like people painting them and decorating them, and I just think it's a lot of fun taking these little bases and making them like super cute and everything. But one type of project at a time, and I want to do that first. So I did end up passing on that as well. So, like any millennial, I am a big Harry Potter fan. I more so grew up with the movies than reading the books. So I did read the second book. So Harry Potter fans, don't come at me. It is a goal of mine to finish those books. But the Harry Potter thing I did end up passing on was the Harry Potter figurine that I found at the thrift store. It was Harry Potter. It was called Through the Trap Door. And it features that specific scene where they're confronted by the three-headed dog, Ron, Hermione, and Harry Potter. But the thing is that, and I didn't notice this until afterwards either, Harry was missing. So this figurine, although it was kind of cool and whimsical and reminded me of my childhood and everything like that, it was broken. Still a cute piece. I bought broken things before, but it was, it's Harry Potter. You got to have him in the figure. You know what I mean? Like, so that was kind of a disappointment. But yeah, we did pass on that. We also passed on the Coca-Cola tray that I featured, though I thought it was really cool. I don't think it was like super, super old. It didn't give me that like vibes anyway. Like it looked like it might have been like a reprint that someone did later on. But yeah, no, I ended up passing on that as well. But I think the feature on that is really cool. We're big Coke fans in this house. As you know, I bring a Diet Coke with me to the thrift store all the time for people that have watched my thrifting vlogs. It would have been cute, but ultimately I did end up passing on it. And the final thing that I got actually does win an award for being the cutest thing that I found and thrifted, and that was the vintage dog figurine. When I saw that little puppy face, I immediately fell in love. It was so stinking cute. And at first I didn't think it was vintage because it seemed like it had like a barcode on the bottom and it looked like a little bit newer. I don't think it's like old or anything like that. Like super duper old. But it had some age to it, and I was like, oh no, I don't think this guy is that old. But it turns out that he is, and he's just this super cute little puppy. Get him without bumping into Emerson too much. Oh, Emerson's done. Emerson is done being on the lap. So here is this little guy, and yeah, he's a good size. I would say he's a good like 6 inches tall. These aren't scratches, by the way. I don't know if you can see them very well on the camera, but there's little like it's residue from the tape, from the sticker specifically. And I just think he's like a little cutie patootie. Like, look at that little face. Like, if you saw a face like that at the animal shelter, you would have to take him home, because I feel like that's what it was for me. I just saw him like this and I was like, he is so stinking cute. I'll put sold comps on the screen of what this little guy typically runs for. It's not like super duper valuable, but I just feel like, come on, look at that face. Like, how can you resist that face? So he definitely came home with me. He's in my kitchen along with the other dog that I thrifted in a previous video, which if you want to see which dog that is, you can always check out those videos as well. But yeah, he's with that dog in there. Yeah, it's just super duper cute, and I'm happy to have him in my collection. So that's it for today's Thrifter Fat Pass video. We had a surprise guest. Emerson decided to join us and give his 2 cents on the video and everything. So that's always a pleasant surprise. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment below. Let me know what was your favorite thing that I found. What would you have picked up from the thrift store? I'd really like to know, because everybody has different taste. Were there things that I left behind that maybe I should have gotten, or things that I've gotten that I should have left behind? You know, let me know in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. All right, take care and see you next time.